Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, please make yourself comfortable. In this channel, we'll talk about everything positive. We bring the positive energy out of everyone, especially if you live with sickle cell disease. So, positive vibes all the way. In this video, I will be talking about the law of attraction and a positive mental attitude and how I have used these things to mold me into the woman that I am today, and some tips to get you living a positive mental attitude way of life. So please stay tuned. So, first of all, what is the law of attraction? Well, it is a belief that positive or negative thoughts brings positive or negative experiences in your life. And I think this is something that everyone should practice, because if you think positive things will happen to you, and vice versa. So I have used this method in every single aspect of my life for a very long time, and I have seen it worked. And I'll tell you how. You see, throughout my life, I have always had people tell me what or who I should be. But I came to realize that I can be whatever or whoever I want to be, regardless of what people think or thought. That is something that has stayed with me till this day. So I came across a book, and that book changed my life. But before I get to that book, just a bit about me. You see, I grew up living with a condition that some people made me believe that I was going to live up to a certain age. But I lived past that age. And when I lived past that age, I started to ask myself that for me to have lived past that age that they thought I was going to die, I must have a purpose. And this changed my whole mindset about life, even though I was very young. I knew somewhere down the line, at the back of me, that I must have a purpose. And ever since then, I have been living a positive mental attitude without even realizing that that is how I have been living my life. I have been hoping for better things in my life every single day, knowing that I must be a better version of whatever I am. So I started to manifest positive thoughts in my life because, what was the worst that was going to happen? I was living in so much suffering due to my sickle cell. I was always in hospital. I was always having one challenge after the other. And I started saying to myself that there must be something better for me in this life, As much as I sometimes wish that I would just die, I started saying that, there must be better things, because when I am well, I enjoyed life to the fullest. I spent time with my friends and family, and it was lovely. So I started manifesting positive thoughts in my life. And I remember one time telling my mom that one day I know that I will go to Europe, because they will give me a very good care. They will look after me very well. And my mom said she was shocked, because that is not a conversation that we've ever had at home. And she says, yes, of course, you will go to Europe one day. I didn't even know how that was going to happen. I was only young, but because, I knew that I wasn't having good enough care wherever I was. I knew that if I traveled somewhere, I will have better care. And I had that in my head. Every single moment in my life, I knew that I was going to have a better life. Don't get me wrong, you can have a better life wherever you are. But where I wasn't having a better life in terms of medical care. So this kept me going. I have this positive mental attitude that I will have a better care. And I wrote this down. And I had this little notebook that I used to write things, that I used to write my songs, the lyrics, of my songs. And, I started writing things that I wanted for my life. And I will tell you, this is a very good practice. Whatever you manifest, whatever you want to attract in your life, write them down. You'll be surprised because they will come to pass. I started writing them down, and it was a whole list of them. Trust me, it works. So, growing up, I realized that a lot of my friends, many people wanted to be like me. Not that I had too much. I mean, I was still under my parents' roof. I didn't have a place of my own. I depended on my parents for every single thing in my life. But my friends always wanted to be like me. Then I came to realize that it's not because of the things that I have or do not have. It was because of how I saw and approached life. It was because of the positive mental attitude that I always brought across. Even with all my challenges, my friends will remember I always tell them that, come on, there's going to be a better way. There are better things ahead. I always have that mental attitude that something better has got to come out of every situation. And that's how I've always seen life. That's how I've always approached life. So when I moved to the UK, life was tough. Life was very tough, but I knew that things were going to get better. But because I knew that things were going to get better, it was okay. I wrote down a few things that I wanted for my life, how I wanted my life to play out, the things that I wanted, that I thought I wanted at that time. I just write them down, not knowing when they were going to happen. But I tell you, most of the things that I wrote down have come to pass in my life because I attracted them. I had a positive mental attitude because I knew that whatever challenge I was going through or I am going through in my life, it's just a matter of time before things can only get better because I had the mindset. And that is something I think you too can do. You have to have that mindset that whatever it is you manifest will happen in your life. If you manifest negative thoughts, of course, negative things will come your way. But I have always had the notion that if I attract positive things in my life, positive things will happen. And that has been my mantra. So I got introduced to this book, and this book changed my life. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. I mean, you don't have to go to a book to believe that, you can attract the law, you can practice the law of attraction or have a positive mental attitude. I have always been someone who has always had that mindset that something positive has to come out of my challenges. I don't know if it's because I've had so many challenges in my life and I've always looked up to the better days ahead. So I've always had that mindset. So this book right here changed my life. And another thing I wanted to mention is that, growing up as a Christian, we believe that if there's something that we need so dearly in our lives, all we need to do is first work very hard for that thing to happen and then pray to God so that thing can happen. And that has been the way most of us have lived our lives. And the reason I love Norman is that he uses a lot of biblical quotes because, some of these biblical quotes are, the doctrine of how we grew up. So one of the chapters he mentions, Philippians 4 verse 13, where he says, you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength. And that has been my mantra because I know very well that I can do everything through Christ who gives me the power to do it. And because I have that mindset that yes, I can do it, I do it and it happens. I manifest it and it happens. I practice it by writing them down and saying them out loud. And this is something that I think if you practice, it will change your life because it changed mine. I manifest them by speaking them out in the shower, in my own time, at work, wherever I am. If I want something so dearly, I just speak them out and invite them to happen in my life. And I have noticed that every single time, it might take some time, but it does happen because I have that positive mental attitude. And I think if you want to become a better version of yourself, you have to start having this positive mindset. So, first of all, living with sickle cell, I have faced a lot of challenges in my life. From being told I was going to live up to a certain age, only going to live up to a certain age, to being so sick that I thought that I was going to die, and my family was told to prepare for the worst, to not able to do my job properly and being told, oh, this is it. To many other things, not being able to finish university on time, and my lecturers telling me that, oh, I don't think you're going to finish this because it's taking you too long. And, the list goes on. But I've always had that mindset that whatever challenge that I am going through, I will overcome them. And I have, no matter how long it took, I had. I believe that even though they told me that I was not going to bear children of my own, back of me, I knew that someday I will be able to do that, even though all the medical interventions didn't work. Most of the time when I'm in the shower, I just keep visualizing me carrying a baby, playing with children. I manifested it and I attracted it to my life. While at university, I struggled quite a lot because I was having a lot of challenges doing my work, my university work, because of my health issues. My friends graduated without me, but I got there in the end. It took me a longer time to finish, and as a result, I didn't graduate with my friends, but that was okay. I finished my university degree. But every single day, I would sit in my room and say that I will finish this because I started it. Whatever I started, I will finish because I know I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. And that was me practicing the law of attraction and positive mental attitude, which I think you can if you start practicing that. I have always wanted to run my own business. Since from when I was a young girl, I used to knit and crochet things and take them to the market, back races, little baskets, and I'll take them to the market with my mom and I'll sell it and save my money. I used to go to the market with my mom and put Gary on my head and sell in the market. I've always wanted to run my own business, but I didn't even know how. I was still young, but I knew that saving money and doing things for myself was a better way. So as I grew up, I had this mental attitude, and when I became an adult, it took me a long time, but I started manifesting that someday I will own my own business because with all my challenges with sickle cell, it became very difficult for me to work under anyone because I was always calling sick. I'm either in a hospital, and that was always a challenge. I had so many disciplinary warnings at work, and this became a problem for me. So I started manifesting and doing lots of research. What can I do to make things better for me? What can I do to make things more comfortable for me? And with that mindset, I started researching how to set up my own business. And we did. And today I run a successful charity thanks to the law of attraction and a positive mental attitude. So the lesson here is that if you want to be the better version of you, or if you want to see things happen for good in your life, you have to get used to practicing the law of attraction and having a positive mental attitude. And you do this by manifesting these things, bringing forth positive thoughts in your mind. Because if you bring forth negative thoughts, negative things will happen in your life. Associate yourself with people that inspire you, that bring out the best and the good in you. Because I do this by writing down the things that I want to happen in my life and speak them out in quiet. You can speak them out loud if you want. Because if you practice the law of attraction, trust me, your life will not be the same. Because that is exactly what happened to me. And I'm a living testimony of how a positive mental attitude can change everything about you. I live with sickle cell, but sickle cell doesn't have me because I bring the positive out of it. I inspire, I create, I inspire because I attract the law of attraction and I practice a positive mental attitude. God bless you.